Welcome back to yet another episode of my podcast, The 4 a.m. Talks. I'm your host, Manoj Velu. Before I get into this episode, I wanted to thank you for tuning in to our podcast and making sure that you are learning from this episode and you are thinking that this channel really brings us the value and you are tuning in and supporting us in every way possible. So, I wanted to thank you from my bottom of my heart both for poems as well as stories. Poems are done by my sister. It's done by my sister Ramya, and I'm doing the stories. So you are tuning in to this podcast with the hope of getting some value, and I'm sure that you are getting it. And we will make sure that we'll put our best effort possible that you get the maximum out of this episode. So, with that being said, I'm going to dive right in to this episode. There is a factor called perfectionism in your professional industry. It is not the same in your personal life. It's not the same. It has two different meanings. The one who understands this will enjoy his life to the fullest. What do I mean? Perfectionism in personal life is entirely different, and I'm gonna have a separate episode for you. And this time I'm just going to talk about the professional thing, what is called perfectionism in your professional life. Are you guys ready? I will start off by telling you a quote. There is a quote that I have read, several days back. It said, perfectionism is unattainable, but on that path, one can achieve excellence. This is so powerful. It made me to think about perfection. To understand better, I'm going to tell you a story. John Carpenter is back on this episode as well. So he's ready. He's ready to make you think through his story. So let's get right into this story. Imagine John Carpenter. He's studying in his sixth grade. And in his school, there is a science lab, and they decide that there would be a photo or a painting of a scientist. Everyone starts to bring and put forth their idea in front of the teachers. John Carpenter came forward and told that he's going to do a painting of a scientist, and that is going to be, hung on the wall. Teachers were taken aback from this idea, but they understood that he has this curiosity that he needs to do this, and they accepted it. They said, okay, you try, let's see. John Carpenter goes home. He takes the printout of a great scientist, Albert Einstein. He tries to draw and paint. As he draws and paints, he learns new things. He tries number of ways to make it better. And at one point, he did it really well. Through this, he got a lot of learnings, and that joy for John Carpenter is not, it cannot be explained in words. You can just imagine that. He's finished, and he goes up to the teacher and he submits. They were super impressed with his work. They were really happy. As they go and go to the wall and hung this beautiful picture, John Carpenter stops them. He asks that to the he asked the teacher to give that picture back to him. They were shocked. What is this guy doing? He didn't say anything. He just asked, please give me back the picture. They gave him back. You know what he does? He goes up to his classroom, takes out the sketch, and he draws a single strand of hair which was missing. And then he submits it back. The teacher was shocked. They were astonished. Everyone were in dead silence. They didn't know how to react this. Sixth grade kid doing this. They were shocked. But the teacher knew that this guy is gonna go places in whichever field that he's gonna select and go after it. The teacher asked him, this one strand of hair doesn't matter because it is going to be hung on the wall, which is really high, and that one strand of hair won't make much of a difference for the people who are looking at your picture. John replied, each time I step in this science lab, and if I look at my picture that I've drawn and painted, the only thing that will run in my mind is I missed that one strand of hair. I missed to draw that one strand of hair. And that would, really cripple me, and it will not make me feel good. There was you know, there was an amazing applause from his, classmates and teacher. Now, why am I telling you this story? The story really means that John Carpenter is not perfect. You might think, oh, he has drawn the perfect picture. No. He is trying to attain perfectionism, and in that path, he is achieving excellence. There is a difference. No one can achieve perfectionism. For example, let's say, let's take your, mother tongue, your first language that you speak. Can you say that you are perfect in English or in your mother tongue, whatever it could be? Can you say that? No. Mind you, there are people who speak really well. Their speaking skills are really good. But that doesn't mean that they are perfect. It means they have achieved a level called an elite level. And they're doing good. But you know what will stop them? If they think that they are perfect. If you think that you are perfect, what will happen is you will stop learning. Imagine if you think that you are perfect, you will really stop learning. You will not go after it because you already know and you're telling it to yourself that you are perfect. So once you're perfect, there is no need of learning. There is no need to learn new things because you're already perfect. You ask any favorite person of yours and they're going to tell you that they are not perfect and they are striving for perfectionism, which means that they understand that this is a never ending process of attaining so-called perfectionism. Let's say you go out and ask Michael Jordan, are you perfect in basketball? Or you go and ask Kobe Bryant if he is perfect in basketball. They would say no, but they are on the process of attaining perfectionism, which led them to excel in their field of basketball. They understood the smallest details, and they were constantly getting better and trying out new things, learning things every day. So, this is what I really wanted to tell you. Professional life, yes, you have to go after it. You can't give an explanation of not doing your best in your professional life. That is not good. Not good for you, not good for the team, not good for the company. But the the other problem that everyone is going to face, if you're thinking about perfectionism, think it as a level to reach excellence in your field and not perfectionism overall. Think about it. Today being Friday, I just thought that I would give you a topic called perfectionism, and I wanted to ask you certain things. Like these things could be your questions after this episode. You go back and reflect, and you could ask yourself, what is that one thing that I really want, and go after it in your professional life. Have I did that? Did I do that? You'd say yes, but am I reaching that excellence? Am I reaching, am I striving for perfectionism? If not, why do I stop myself going after it? What is that is limiting myself to reach that level? Ask these questions to yourself. With these questions, you know what is going to happen? You got to get an answer. You will have an answer. With that answer, there are number of questions again constructed, and you will get an answer as you get along, and you will find out that answer. With that curiosity, you would be learning a lot of things. Think about it. There is nothing called a perfect book. There is nothing called, a perfect player. There is nothing called a perfect businessman. No. There is something called, the best businessman, the best sportsman, the best entrepreneur. But what matters to them is they would not think themselves as best, because if they say best, it's game over, and they know that. This is because they know that this will stop them to learn and get better. If you achieve certain level, you got to go to the next level. This is how it is. There is nothing called perfectionism, but you are on the path of that, and you are achieving excellence. This is what you need to understand. Go back, reflect on this episode, reflect on the story that I've told you and the examples that I've given you. Think about it, reflect back, and become better. This is what really matters a lot for both of us, me and my sister. I'm telling you the story, she's telling the poems, and we are trying to make sure that we become better in our lives. With that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, and make sure that you reflect back on these episodes. If you really love this episode, I wanted you to go back to our channel and see there are a number of episodes out there. You can go out and watch, any of the episode that you want, and you can take that as well. With that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.